Mr. Wendell Williams, Kapara. All right, before I begin, I'm going to talk a little bit about St. Ursula. The title of this is called The Martyrdom of St. Ursula and the 11,000 Virgins by the master of St. Ursula legend. That was his name. So I'm going to give you a little background about her for those who don't know. Um, Her name was St. Ursula, and she is a legendary Roman British Christian saint who died on October the 21st, 386. So, legend goes is that Ursula was a British princess, the daughter of a Christian king named Dionysius, I think that's his name, um, of Dumnonia. That's a real place, I guess. That's what they said. Uh, she had 11,000 handmaids, all which were virgins, and they were also her followers. The legend says that she was going to marry a guy. Well, he was going to be her future husband, but he was a pagan prince. So she went on a journey to sail off the coast of Brittany, which is a location on the outside of England before England became England. And but while sailing, there was a big storm, and legend says that they all died that way. But then other people say that they died. The ship wrecked and they landed on a place that was ran by the Gauls, which is a barbarous tribe near Germany. Um, After landing, they decided to take pilgrimage and up to Rome to speak to the Pope, to convince the Pope to join them on their journey. During the pilgrimage back from Rome, upon arriving in Cologne, Germany, she was ambushed by the leader of Hans and his men. The leader wanted to marry Ursula, but she blatantly refused. So he began to slaughter the women. He cut off their heads, stabbed them, even shot St. Ursula and killed her. Her death was recorded around 348. There ain't no definitive date and it's certain, and there are also many alternatives to the legends because so much information has been lost remembering her, and only remembrance of her is the relics that are buried underneath the Roman burial site underneath the church in Cologne, which was built in honor of her. It is believed that the bones there are hers and of her followers. She was given a feast day on the Roman Catholic calendar. Even a group of nuns, in honor of their patron, Saint Ursula, created an order of Saint Ursula women called Ursulines, which help and encourage the education of young girls even to this day. Okay, if you look at this photo here, well, the painting, sorry, you can see a lot of detail in this. If you notice, you can look at the Hans guy, look at the position of the Hans leader, which is in the center to the left, and the angle at which St. Ursula, the Pope, which is behind the Hans guy on the other side of the tent, and her fiance, which she is holding, it makes like a triangular set, a triangular shape, which is highly noted in some artwork. And if you look at the Hans leader, he's the one standing right there in the center of everyone, and everyone surrounding him. Saint Ursula, her fiance, the Pope, and the other characters in the painting. His position, meaning the Hans leader, is one of a superior position, as I noted in my notes at the bottom. Um, Let's see. And if you look at the Pope, and her husband or her fiance, they're all in lower positions. And Saint Ursula, she's more in the middle of the level of those guys. So it's like the Hans leader is at the top, she's at the middle, and the fiance and the Pope is at the lower position in the film. I mean, and I put not in status, but it's the painting positions that I just noticed about it, and kind of like as you looked at the angels in the painting, you can see like they can represent the pure soul of the virgins ascending to heaven. Yeah, that's something that I noted while watching this. And if you look at the facial features on some of them, I just thought it was weird how the facial feature of the Hans guy is kind of like more realistic than the others. He has more detail on his face. And the Pope kind of looks distraught and helpless. And obvious her fiance is looks helpless and ashamed. And Saint Ursula just has like this I guess it's like a unbiased look on her face. Like she doesn't really have a look, have an expression, expressionless. I guess that'd be the word. Okay, a little about the painting. So the artist is the Flemish painter called the Master of Saint Ursula legend. That was a name that was given to him. He painted this portrait of her, but also there were 19 panel paintings dispersed throughout Europe, like London, Nuremberg, and other places. But he painted a total of 19 of these, and this was one of them. And he was known to paint religious subjects in his paintings. And most of the colors he used, if you go back to his painting, you'll see a lot of blue-green roofs in terms of built on the buildings. In his landscape, you'll see yellow-brown landscapes. Like in the background, it will be like a bluish color in the sky. And then if you look at the characters in the painting, you can look at their hair, or even just colors in general. You'll see a ripe corn color in the hair. The ripe corn color came from a description of something that I read about her. I would have thought it was like a golden yellow, but if you, it's noted in their hair in the majority of his paintings. This painting specifically was dated from 1497. I mean 1492. Sorry. It was painted on canvas, and if you look at the painting, also you'll see perspective in it. Most of the colors are muted colors of green, yellow, blues, reds, brown, smoky whites. It was commissioned by the Church of Cologne, Germany, and it obviously is to pay homage to Saint Ursula. And currently, to this date, it is housed in Victoria and Albert Museum in London, England. And in this slide, I mentioned if you look at the people faces, the Han leader, he has like sort of a proud look over everyone. He's standing like in a bold way, righteous way, as everyone's getting slaughtered, in a way of sort of admiring the result of everything. If you look at the Pope's face, I noted that he kind of has a helpless or shameful look on his face. Like he don't know what's going on. Like he can't believe it, in disbelief in a sense. The fiance lays helpless in her arms while she tries to save him after he's getting stabbed by the huntsman. Saint Ursula ironically has a calm look on her face. It's almost like expressionless. The virgins are just there, just beheaded and slaughtered with looks of helplessness on her face. And I also noted like there's a lot of symbology is what I call it, or symbolic things in this painting. It kind of made me think about the Bible in the sense of like the ultimate sacrifice of Christ. How you know he had his belief and then he had his followers, and they all went to Rome, and even to share the faith and everything like that. And the result of that led to his crucifixion. So it kind of made me think about that. And and ironically, the Pope is always kind of spared in these situations when it comes to that religion. And I also noted that if you look at the painting, Saint Ursula has like a halo around her head, denoting her sainthood. To reiterate the legend of Saint Ursula, she was born around the 4th century. She was from Britain. She was a Christian to a Christian king, and she was set to marry a pagan prince, home of which was going to convert to Christianity after the marriage. Um, Upon her trying to go see him via ship with her maidens, her ship had wrecked. And so when her ship wrecked, she decided to take a pilgrimage to Rome to speak with the Pope about what's going on with the marriage and convince him to join her in her pilgrimage. He accepted the proposal and he traveled with her until they came to Rome. To Germany, but more specifically Cologne, Germany, and which they came in contact with the Huns. And after the Huns, you know, repeated attempts to convince Saint Ursula to marry him, she blatantly refused, and he ended up killing her and her maidsmen and her handmaids, thus ending the legend of Saint Ursula by the master of Saint Ursula legend. Thank you.